Now, the war in Iran has left countries across the globe struggling to navigate higher fuel and other costs. But a new report just released, it finds that shutting down the Strait of Hormuz may be a net win for China. Now, according to analysis by the Asia Group, they're based in Washington, D.C., China has been able to weather the storm by tapping into its vast oil and gas reserves, by leaning on its clean energy resources and imposing restrictions on energy exports. Analysts warn that the longer the Iran crisis lasts, the greater the impact other nations will face. Joining us now is Kurt Campbell, chairman and co-founder of the Asia Group. He's also the former U.S. Assistant Secretary of State for East Asian and Pacific Affairs. Kurt, it's great to see you. Thank you for joining us. In your new report, you say that China is a winner. China is emerging from the Hormuz crisis as a relative winner, at least for now. So in macro terms first, could you walk us through why?
Great. Well, first of all, it's wonderful to be with you tonight. So we took on this report in the Asia Group because we believe that the region perhaps affected the most from the Hormuz crisis was the Indo-Pacific. And as we looked at the key economies, Japan, South Korea, India, China, the United States, what we saw quite clearly was that China had taken the steps in advance to create buffers, to create diversification and a variety of energy sources, and to create holdings of capacity that would potentially come in handy in a crisis. And that's exactly what's happened. So China has the resilience and the capacity to withstand even relatively substantial closures. What we also found, however, is that although for now, China is a winner, if this continues, they, along with other countries in Asia, particularly Indonesia, the Philippines, South Korea, and Japan, will be hurt as well. So I think China probably has some interests behind the scenes to try to encourage this conflict to come to a close.
And let's now zero in on a couple affected industries one by one. One, of course, petrochemical and plastics. There has been across Asia, especially in markets like South Korea and Japan, but also in China, a shortage of naphtha, and that was the crude derivative used to make plastics. China sourced a lot of it through Hormuz. So how did China manage that shortfall?
Well, look, as you indicate, everyone thought in some respects that the Strait and the Gulf was a one-company town, just petroleum and natural gas. But of course, what we've seen over time is that there are a number of capacities that come from the Persian Gulf that are quite significant to the global economy: helium, sulfur, and as you mentioned, naphtha. Japan, for instance, had almost no reserves and is now, frankly, running on empty. China, in almost every one of the key commodities that we are seeing shortages of on the global scene, has stocks that they have been able to draw down over the course of the last several months. Now, I must say, some of those supplies are growing short. And so even China is starting to feel some of the pressure now as this conflict heads into its fifth month.
Yeah, interesting. China not immune to shortages of not just energy, but naphtha. Also, you mentioned helium just now, which is key for the semiconductor manufacturing industry. But China can work around that and secure supplies. It has, as you said, the capacity. It's also been diversifying its sourcing. I want to ask you about green technology. Because throughout this crisis, during this war, China's clean tech manufacturing, its green economy, it continued to hum. So could you give us your thinking here, like how China's push for green energy and that strategy has shielded it from the war?
Exactly right, Chris. You've just summarized it exactly the way this has played out. And I think what we are going to see after this crisis, first of all, despite what anyone says in the United States or elsewhere, we are not returning to the situation in the Gulf before the conflict. Things have fundamentally changed. There will likely be a toll or fees. There's likely to be higher tension for a considerable period. What that means is that almost every country in the world is going to look to diversify other sources of petrochemicals and gas and diesel, but as importantly, more reliance on green energy and green technology.
And Kurt, looking ahead, what are the political ramifications here? Is China going to emerge from this crisis not just economically stable, relatively speaking, especially compared to its Asian neighbors, but also politically stronger, as it's seen as the quote unquote reliable power here in the region?
Yeah, again, great question. I think what we're going to see, first of all, is other countries in Asia that are facing more pressure are going to rely on China for more support in the period following the crisis as the global economy rebounds. But it is also the case that I think quietly behind the scenes, Asian countries are careful to talk about it too directly, but I think they hold the United States responsible for launching a war without a very good idea of its end game. China's played its hand very carefully behind the scenes, has encouraged negotiations, has been a careful interlocutor. I think they will likely emerge from this being seen as a more steady player. I don't think that's in American strategic interests, but I think that might be a reality that we will face.
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, many countries here in Asia had already begun hedging themselves closer to China. And as China plays its, as you said, steady hand during the Hormuz crisis, it seems like that trend is just going to continue or even grow. Kurt Campbell, we'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining us here in the program, and take care.
Thank you, Kristie. Really appreciate it.